But first things first, this is Barbara Fusar-Poli and Maurizio Margaglio of Italy. Their original dance is to the music of Since I Met You, Baby. Since I Met You, Baby, I'm as happy as a man could be, and I think Barbara Fusar-Poli is and has reason to be after that performance with partner Maurizio Margaglio of Italy.
Already we can see in this group just how much faster the footwork is, just how much greater the speed is across the ice, and how much more intricate it is. Also, more in time.
Barbara makes her own costumes, and I guess one thing, she wouldn't have to use a lot of material.
Well, you noticed it. I'm not sure about the piece up the leg. I don't know that it's indicative of anything of that particular era, but it's certainly a good look and it's fun, so why not?
They've been competing for some considerable time internationally since 1985, as we have a look at them once again.
Can see just how much more footwork there is in this, how much closer they are together than some of the teams that we've seen before. Very quick, even in slow-mo replay, it's still moving very quickly across the ice, and that's what's very important to the judges: speed, flow, control, and strength of the edge. And there we can see that on the outside edge, particularly from Barbara.
They had a share of 6th place after the compulsories.
The marks for Fusar-Poli and Margaglio. Composition 5-4, 5-5, 5-4, 5-5, 5-2, 5-4.
And look how high these marks are, and that's reflecting the difficulty of the steps and also the speed with which they performed their jive.
So that moves them to number 1 for the moment. But of course there's some very, very stiff competition coming up in this group and the next one. In the next group we'll be seeing the world champion, the Olympic champions, the European champions, Evgeni Platov and Pasha Grishuk. But in the meantime, this pair finished 3rd after the compulsories, representing France, Marina Anissina and Gwendal Peizerat. Dual French champions. Here they are dancing to the music Snatch and Grab It.
Trip from Gwendal there. Marina, I'm sorry. There's a loop that I might consider would come across the middle of the rink.
That's Marina, Anissina and Gwendal, Peizerat. Gee, there's some work being done on the ice now as we really do up the tempo here at White Ring. That pair from France. And an excellent job.
That dance was loaded with difficulty. I think there was a couple of small problems in it, but it was so difficult and moving across the ice so quickly. Very much in time together.
Marina born in Moscow, but she gained French citizenship at the start of 1996.
And they are really in contention and going after a bronze medal. It's around this team that a lot of the controversy is surrounding. So remember what you've seen, and there's the trip. And that can incur a 0.1 to 0.4 deduction, whatever the judges think that it should take. And after they got through that section, I think that the pace of the dance really hotted up. It got faster and faster, and the footwork was more and more difficult. So they got over the early problems and powered on home.
And we'll see just how well they powered home.
With a previous partner, Irina was World Junior Champion.
Composition 5-6, 5-6, 5-6, 5-6, 5-5, 5-6, 5-6.
Slightly lower marks than I guess they would have wanted.
5-6. Presentation 5-7.
And you can see that the judges have deducted up to 0.2 from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the judges, and 0.1 by the rest for the trip.
Now it's going to be very interesting next on the ice, because this pair were in equal fourth position after the compulsories. Irina Lobacheva and Ilia Averbukh from Russia, in an outfit you're just raving about, Belinda. You love those colours.
Oh, absolutely, Sandy. They're just
the nearest thing you've been to speechless. It's a record. Anyway, here they go to Tutti Frutti by Little Richard.
watch for the unison. It's excellent.
doesn't get you rocking and rolling and jumping up out of your seat, nothing will. An outstanding performance by Irina Lobacheva and Ilia Averbukh. They've been together for 5 years. In fact, Marina Anissina was his former partner.
I think that was an absolutely fabulous performance. It's the best one that we've seen so far. It covered the ice, strong edges, good control, fast footwork, terrific unison, excellent timing. Am I raving?
I think you're a fair rap for them. You're just not big on the outfit or the colours.
Not big on the outfit, not at all.
I like that, so we're even. Great performance, though, and it's going to be interesting to see what the judges think of it.
This is a very difficult thing to do. They're jumping from outside edge to outside edge on the curve. A little bit foot to foot there, but I think after what they've just done, that's quite acceptable in my book. And this is very neat. They train with Natalia Linachuk and Gennady Karponosov, who were world champions themselves in Newark, Delaware in the USA, where so many Russian teams are training now. And they are right in contention for bronze medal here. And Bourne and Kraatz will have to come out with something very, very special to topple that performance. No errors, no trips. It was wonderful skating.
Score's about to come up. Will they catch Anissina and Peizerat? That is the big question. We'll wait for presentation, but it could be very doubtful.
5-6 and 5-5.
5-3 to 5-7, whilst for presentation, no, they will not catch Anissina or Peizerat.
5-6.
Puts them in second place. So and amongst them, in fact, first onto the ice, the defending Olympic champions, the world champions, and also the European champions. And they are leading at the moment. First, after the compulsories, Pasha Grishuk. She changed her name from Oksana to Pasha. And her partner, Evgeni Platov, attempting to hold their lead in this competition. Their performance in the tango was outstanding. Here they are performing to Jailhouse Rock from the King. Well, there's no doubt about the Russian skaters. Unison is certainly one of their strengths, and that is no exception from the champions, Pasha Grishuk and Evgeni Platov. They were beaten by Torval and Dean, but that was 4 years ago. They've been unbeaten since. And you could not help but be impressed, Belinda, by that performance.
Their flow and their speed is what is so impressive. And I think that this will score a lot of marks. It'll be very difficult for anybody to beat them. Absolutely no mistakes. Very, very together. Very close. Skated very, very close together. And quite a different treatment to a jailhouse rock. But the pattern was interesting and the flow was terrific. The turns were so crisp. And here we see the unison that we're talking about. And like Punchline and Swallow, not being overly careful with the upper body, which I think is what rocking is really all about. Change of boot colour to make that work. A lot of difficult little steps in that section. And another fascinating outfit.
And while we're watching that, there are a couple of youngsters at the exit just holding up signs 6.0. Wanting the perfect score for the champions, Pasha and Evgeni. She's certainly an optimist. Her ambitions, immediate ambitions, were initially to win a gold medal and then to win an Oscar within 3 years. A bit keen on acting.
Apparently she turned down Robert De Niro to come to the Winter Olympics.
Sets high standards.
5'7", 5'8", 5'9", 5'8".
Really good marks, but not unbeatable. Have a look at the presentation.
5'8", 5'9",
Well, 5'9", the highest,
5'9",
but it does for the moment place them in first position. In fact, they remain in first position. And they've got the free to come onto the ice, a pair who've had a fair bit to say about the judging in the past 24 hours or so. But more on that shortly. They come into this original in equal fourth place. Shae-Lynn Bourne and Victor Kraatz representing Canada, and dancing to the piece that will get you rocking, Grease Lightning.
Well, this car is automatic. It's systematic. It's hydromatic. Or it's grease lightning.
Big performance from Shae-Lynn Bourne and Victor Kraatz of Canada. Hugely successful. In fact, they've been national champions for the past 6 years.
Well, this is actually a brand new original dance, because the one that they performed in the Champions Series final and also the Canadian Championships wasn't deemed to be difficult enough. And I actually think that this one isn't difficult as Grishuk-Platov or Anissina and Peizerat either. I think that the speed is there, absolutely the fastest dance we've seen so far tonight, and I think the edge control is fabulous deep edges, which means there's a big lean into the circle and into the ice rink on the edges. But as far as actual steps go, I think that they're not as difficult or as quick.
Well, before we hear from the judges, this is what she had to say about them. It's very political. People are polling for their own skaters, and I think a lot comes down to fear of our free dance. The lower we are in the beginning, the harder it is for us to pull up in the end. Speaker Shae-Lynn Bourne.
I think she's quite right, because their free dance is, I believe, awesome, fantastic. I don't think this dance is anywhere near the standard of river dance. I enjoyed it. I like the speed. I like, not that very last little finish there, but river dance is a pretty awesome feat. When we see that tomorrow night, it'll be worth watching.
Yes, that's the free tomorrow night. And is this going to be good enough for them to finish in the top three so far? We've still got one pair to come.
The marks were Bourne and Kraatz.
Grishuk-Platov are leading.
5-7, 5-7, 5-6.
Well, maybe not in the composition marks. We'll have to wait and see for the presentation. It'll be close.
5-7, 5-5, and 5-6.
Russian judge awarding 5-7.
5-8, 5-7.
The Russian judge awarding 5-6.
5-6.
Good marks.
Yeah, they are, and that places them in third spot.
Thank you.
So it's Grishuk-Platov leading, Anissina and Peizerat in second spot, Bourne and Kraatz in third. But now another Russian pair. This is Anjelika Krylova and Oleg Ovsyannikov. And their original dance to the music, 5 months, 2 weeks. Well, they had a second place after the compulsory. The big question is, are they going to hold that position? And will Russia go into the free dance 1-2? This is Anjelika Krylova and Oleg Ovsyannikov. A couple of years ago, they were number 2 in the world. In fact, they won the original dance in the '98 European Championships. So how did you think they fared there, Belinda?
I think, again, this is one of those busy, difficult, frantic rock and rolls. I when I look back at it, I actually think that Bourne and Kraatz were probably creating a better rock and roll feel, but this was a much more difficult dance. I think I have a problem with Anjelika in a rock and roll form, but I think she carried that off really superbly. Very busy. The unison's fabulous. They're close. They're quick. The edges are always good. And he's right into it. Lots of difficult moves. And don't forget again, this is slow motion. So that's how we can see just how quick they're able to move their feet. Takes a lot of choreography and a lot of work to make all of this sort of thing happen. So fantastic dance from them too.
Well, their coaches know a bit about the caper because they were the champions back in 1980 in Moscow. From Moscow. Summer games, of course, in Moscow in 80.
They were.
And I'm speaking about Linachuk and Karponosov. So we'll wait for the scores anxiously to see if they are going to hold their second position. And bear in mind, we then take these placings into the free dance tomorrow night to decide gold, silver and bronze. These are good scores.
Good scores and pushing Grishuk-Platov too. And I'm very surprised, but I'm very happy to see it. It was a very difficult dance. Look at that.
A six
yep.
From the Russian judge, a 6.
Very interesting. Russian judge had the second Russian team ahead of the first Russian team. Split decision, 4-5. They've only just lost that to Grishuk-Platov. Sets it up well for tomorrow, doesn't it?
Yes, a fantastic setup for tomorrow night. The free dance, and they're both fantastic exponents of the free dance. So what a wonderful setup we have going into tomorrow night. Let's just check the placings. It is Grishuk and Platov, but only just at the moment from their countrymen Krylova and Ovsyannikov. Then comes Anissina and Peizerat. They are the top 3, and there you can see the top 6. So a wonderful night tonight, Belinda, and can't wait for tomorrow night, the free dance.
It'll be fantastic. It'll be just something to watch, something to see, and
You've got the grin all over your face already, haven't you?
Well, I like it that they've made an event out of it. I think that's excellent.
And I'm glad you've had a good night rocking and rolling. We're going to take a break, but plenty more still to come here on 7. We'll see you back here at White Ring tomorrow night.